And all I had to do was just look at him. I just glanced at him and immediately he like ran over to me, gave me a big hug.
Oh, I love that.
Yes, yes. And yeah, and I didn't have to do anything. I had,
Wow,
I
that's
had the
awesome.
intention of meeting this quite well known, quite successful musician. Um, and it just happened. And I just stood there and
All you had to do is
I,
show up.
right? Exactly. But I could feel when I looked at him that there was something in me that was just drawing that in.
Gravitating.
And it was, it's such an amazing feeling. Anyway, so then guess what I draw? Magnetism. Uh,
Hi, I'm Robin.
and I'm Rhea. Robin and I have been spending a whole year calling in the goddess. We've been inviting qualities of the feminine every month that we wish to expand in ourselves.
We'd love for you to join us on this journey and enjoy the magic with us. What?
Ah,
Hello, beautiful soul.
hello, my beautiful one.
So, since we started the podcast, we actually finally saw each other in real life
Woo!
and got to hug each other, and I got to squish you.
Yes, that was divine. And it felt completely familiar as always, you know.
Yeah.
I just felt like we were connected and it didn't even require any kind of formal hello or
No.
no,
It
no.
just felt like when you
Yeah.
said it to me, we haven't seen each other in
Yes.
person since we started the podcast, and I'm looking at you like, huh? What are you talking about?
Yeah. Exactly.
We've been so energetically connected and
Yeah.
traveling on this journey together that even is irrespective of the distance that we've had. I mean, I've been in South Africa, Brazil, you were Miami and
Mhm.
India, all over the show. But it like the distance didn't matter. It felt so yeah, connected and powerful and supported as
Yeah.
well in
Yeah.
so many ways that yeah, it's beautiful that space doesn't matter in physical space. I mean, obviously, it's so much more powerful to be in each other's presence. It's great to actually hug you, but that we can still have these connections with each other, with other people in a
Yeah.
really meaningful way without having to be in the same physical space.
You said it perfectly. I have nothing to add. I was yeah, it just reinforced for me the existence of something greater. It's always so lovely to connect in that way and to, when we met, we felt it. And it just is really worth speaking to that, honoring it, being grateful for the fact that you're in my life and um and that we get to have this experience here.
Yeah, yeah. At some point, we should probably talk about our meeting story, how we met and came into each other's lives, actually, because
Yes.
that's also, but that was like a beautiful sort of flourishing of synchronicities and just, yeah, connection. And now, and you're bringing all these beautiful goddesses into my life as well.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah, we should definitely do that. I wonder, maybe we could do it when we record together. I feel like
That's a good
yes, like
idea.
the
Okay, I
dynamic
love it.
of
Cool. We'll just
Mhm.
keep everyone in suspense.
Exactly, exactly.
A
But I
reason to
want
keep listening so that they
yeah.
find out.
Yes. And part of that story is that I almost died. So this is this
Drum
is really yeah,
roll.
there you go. Um, and another mysterious thing about the story is that we met before we met.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it is mystical on many levels, and it is very deeply connected to rebirth for me.
Mhm.
Um, and perfectly timed in this journey of, finding ourselves and finding those qualities in ourselves that we're exploring together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Beautifully said.
But
So,
I
how has
definitely
the goddess been showing up with you this last moon cycle? You were calling in royalty.
Yes, and it exceeded my expectations. Oh my gosh, incredible, incredible. The transformation that I've been through in the last 4 weeks is just amazing. I wouldn't say that it was a very dramatic month in terms of anything appearing or in the physical, right? There weren't necessarily lots of signs of royalty or, of course, here and there. And we live in England, so every other pub is the Queen's hen. But I'm trying not to pay attention to those. It's a bit too obvious.
It's so literal.
It's really been such an inward month in many ways, and particularly around, we talked last time about will, and then from will, it's really shifted into sovereignty and uh, a lot of a lot of seemingly mundane developments, like I've found a new place to live, and my eldest daughter
Exciting.
is going to move out and move into her own place, and this is actually extremely connected to sovereignty for me. And it could not be, I mean, I don't want to get too much into this, but it's like a dream come true. Everything about this place, I literally manifested. And so, in a very real sense, it's not only representing my sovereignty, but in fact, my ability to create what I desire for myself.
Yeah.
And I cannot tell you how that happened aside from me being aligned, but literally every detail of what I
Yeah,
desired
like
is in
what?
this place.
Tell me. I'm like obsessed with like spaces, interior design, houses. So
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
just like details.
Yes. Well, it's brand new. It's just been completed. And it's actually a vision of a new earth way of living.
Ooh, nice.
Yes, in community, every day there will be classes, start the day with meditation, have communal meals.
I didn't.
It feels so right. And when this is important as a woman actually to recognize is that when something really is very aligned, I feel it. And I didn't have that feeling for most of my life. So I know it's significant. And it's almost like the feeling of being in love. It's this warmth and peace in my body. Um, and I just had absolutely no doubts that that was where I'm meant to be. Um, and
So when did you feel
yeah.
that? Because I think this is interesting to try
Mhm.
and understand, like,
Yeah,
when things are in alignment, like, what does it is it in the moment? Is it
yeah.
thinking about it? Like, when from a timing perspective? Like, I think trying to yeah, I think for me, like, that's one of the things that I sometimes battle with is, like,
Mhm.
something feels right at a certain moment, and then have, like, doubts after I've left because then I get in my head. So, yeah, I'm curious to know from your perspective when you know and you're able to hold on to that conviction of it. Is it yeah.
Hmm. Again, I would say it is a new and unfamiliar feeling for me. And I assume that's because I was living so far out of alignment for so long. And the first time I experienced it also was seemingly random. It was when with my startup, we had applied to Y Combinator. And after the interview, my co-founder was just so negative. He absolutely thought we'd done terribly. We were not going to get in. And I felt the complete opposite. I had that feeling. I had just this total peacefulness and warmth and assurance in my body of I guess it's like a feeling of safety, but
Yeah.
I would really compare it to the feeling of love. And sure enough, we got in and, but the chances of that are absolutely minuscule. But I just knew. And, uh, and I had that also when I decided to go into business with my partner,
Mhm.
which was another huge inflection point for me, taking the plunge, deciding to put actually my money behind something, which I've
Yeah.
never done. Had that feeling. And then now with moving here. And so those are really only 3 points in my life when it's been that strong.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's sort of little hints and inklings of it otherwise. And I suppose you could say those are all pretty significant turning points. But what I'm hoping is that now that I know what it feels like and that it continuously gets affirmed as the right thing, then I'll experience it more.
Yeah.
But I think it's also it might be a little bit different from intuition. And maybe this is also just a feeling that we don't even have a name for. I don't know. Or maybe only I experience it. Um, intuition is that sense of like contraction or expansion for me anyway. Um, I definitely I definitely do know what the heart wants and when it's a no. And the fact that if it's even like a little bit of a no, if it's not just a complete yes, then that's a no,
Just be a no. Yeah.
right? It's just a no, but I don't follow that enough because sometimes it just doesn't seem practical. But nonetheless, that response is very clear.
Mm.
Usually, it's there for all of us, I think. But this other thing, maybe we'll come to a better understanding of it over time. But
Yeah.
it's just this overwhelming sort of. I'm having some thoughts about it, and I feel like this word alignment keeps coming to me in relation to it. And the way that I understand alignment is being aligned with our true nature, which is love. And of course, love has many sub qualities, like joy and peace and bliss and gratitude. Um, but ultimately, being in alignment with that is in alignment with our kind of godly divine nature, because the divine
Mm.
nature is love. And so perhaps that feeling is just the ultimate feeling of alignment.
Yeah. Yeah. And a knowing. I don't know. The
Mm,
word knowing just came to mind when you were talking about it as well, differentiating it from intuition, but just truth. And I think,
mhm,
yeah, maybe there is something in that it's your intuition acting in alignment and
mm,
that comes to definitive truth or knowing
yeah,
for what's right
yeah.
for you. Like when I came back to London a year ago, I think it was March ish, March, April. And every single time I'd gotten off the plane in the past 10 years and I've gotten to London, I've been like, I'm home. And this
Hmm.
time it was like, what am I doing here?
Oh my.
No, this isn't it. This isn't my home anymore. It's time for a change or something.
God.
Something is not right. And it was so strong. It was so loud. London isn't right for me anymore. So then I went on a quest for the last year to find a
Mm,
home that is more
mhm,
an environment that's more in alignment with who I've become or who I've remembered myself to be, whichever came first, whether I was always this and then I went off and then I came back, whichever way you want to look at it. But this version, more current version of Robin, is more authentically aligned to who she truly is, was not feeling at home in London. And a huge reason is lack of like easy access to nature,
mhm.
the warmth as well. I'm a fire sign. I need
Yeah.
the sun. I'm a sunflower. I basically shrivel and die without the sun.
Well,
And
you
then the
definitely
sun
got
comes out
you
and I'm just
definitely not
like,
getting that here.
yeah. So there were a few realizations that I kind of had. But then a year later, I'm back in London and now I'm about to take a job here in London,
Mhm.
which is London centric. So I can't even run away how I've been doing lately or have one foot in one country, another foot here. I
Yeah.
actually have to be here. And now I'm
Yeah.
like, wait, what's going on? I thought that
Mhm.
I had this
Mhm.
knowing that was very strong that was
Mhm.
telling me this is not home. And now I'm back
Mhm.
where at that place a year later.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you have any thoughts around that?
Definitely so many thoughts, so many thoughts.
Tell me,
because
tell me, tell me.
it feels like the hero's journey to me, right? Where classically, the hero starts out in at home, goes on a quest, comes back, and realizes that actually this is where he belongs, but he needed to go on the quest in order to come back, right?
Mm,
And to change and transform, and then you know, and I just feel like that's what I felt when I was listening to you speak. That you were pushed to go on this year-long journey
mhm.
during which, many things happened, no doubt, that needed to happen. And also, it was just, yeah, just you were right. You listened. London wasn't your place in that moment. But I also know that the job that you've come back for is kind of part of your dream,
Yeah.
right? You're excited about it. And that might not have happened if you hadn't been journeying. Well, in fact, it definitely wouldn't have because everything's connected. And
And the
another
crazy
thing,
thing, by the way, I was interviewing with this company a year ago, and I
yes.
didn't get the job a year ago because they were like, "We're not ready to bring somebody in this role." And then they came out of the blue in January, like, "Okay, now we're ready to hire you." It's a year later.
How
So
perfect is that? It was you literally meant to not be there for a year and then come back, because if they'd offered it to you a year ago, that wouldn't have been the right moment.
not at all.
Um,
Yeah, which is so I mean, what
yeah,
you're saying is just hitting the nail
yeah,
on the head.
yeah.
It makes there's so many signs to be like, that's how it was supposed to play out because
Mhm.
I wouldn't have gone on this journey and I wouldn't have learned the things that I've learned about myself. There's been so much growth.
Yes.
This last year for me was a massive transformation
Oh,
year, a lot of realization, a
I'm
lot of
feeling it.
healing, a lot of inner child
Yeah.
stuff, shadow work, like and I yeah, it's been tough to be honest, but it's
Yeah.
been
Yeah.
transformational in the way that has brought me to a place that, I feel better equipped. I'm not anxious about being in London.
No, it's beautiful. Of course, this is
Yeah.
how it is. Um, but the other thing that came to mind as we were speaking, um, was sometimes when we feel that discomfort around a place or anything really, it's actually, and this is where it gets confusing, right, with intuition, and where I'm personally not clear on it either, is when it's intuition and when it's something being triggered in us,
Oh
right?
my word, now you're
Yeah,
opening up a
yeah,
can of worms.
yeah, yeah.
Now you're opening up my dating life.
I knew it was going to come around to that because all right, let's go there.
No,
But
yeah,
but
well, finish your train of thought around the triggering
the
because
triggering,
this
well,
might feed in well.
yeah, because something, well, certainly a familiar place and a place where you have a lot of history is going to trigger you. And you're going to have feelings about it. Also, those feelings will vary depending on where you are at, right? So you and the place might meet in different modes. There
Mm,
might be moments when you have feelings about London that are not even really related to London, but it's some memory or something. I have a good friend who just constantly talks about how much he hates the UK and how much he desperately wants to be in America. And um and there's very clearly some things underlying that are just about him. I don't want to say that he's running away from himself because I don't know that about him, but that can be the case. It's like,
yeah,
oh, being here, sometimes it can be almost too familiar, and therefore you're not able to be that reinvented aspect of yourself, right? You feel like you're being dragged back into old ways, and that's a
yeah,
risk in a familiar place. Certainly whenever you go home, right? We all have this experience of being with family and feeling like we're regressing. But actually, it's the best test that we have, to be in that familiar place and to still show up as our new self
yeah,
and to make it new for us, which is, what you're doing. And I had exactly the same feeling about London, by the way, when I came back, because it's my third time living here. And I did think, why am I back here again? You
yeah,
know, why do I keep coming back? Is this really where I'm supposed to be? And it looks like it is, because so many thrilling things are now happening, and wherever we are is where we are. That's where our energy is needed. So yes, but I just wanted to also, like, just link in your quality of patience into all of that.
or
and
lack
how
thereof, more like.
well,
This one is gonna be testing me for the rest of my life, seriously. I
I
just
think I feel like 1 month was not enough for
no
patience.
ways, no ways. Like,
No.
I'm only coming to, like, sense of peace with the patience thing, like, in the last day or 2,
Mm,
really. It's been a really tough, sort of month for me leaning into that, and it's resulted in I felt like I was it's kind of it interlinks quite closely with, like, surrender and trust as well. So it feels like it's been a bit of a continuation of the previous moon cycles qualities,
mhm.
but it got really I started having my dreams were insane. I had a dream about Oprah Winfrey, and she was driving a car really, really fast and recklessly. I love Oprah, obviously. I
Yes,
clearly have a
yes,
part of me that aspires to be like her, which is what you do in your dreams. You
yes.
basically have characters that are different versions of yourself.
Fantastic.
So, anyways, my Oprah version, Robin Oprah version, was in a rush and driving like crazy, mud everywhere, ended up in an accident. And then I'm sitting there. And luckily, I didn't get hurt in the accident. I was quite resilient, which is a
Phew.
good
Oprah's still
sign.
with us.
But Oprah's not patient. At least not in my dream. That version of me is not at all. But it showed me how trying to speed and do things in a rush is also not safe all the time,
Mm.
and how
Mhm.
unsettling that
Mhm.
I felt unsettled as a passenger in that car. I didn't like the fact that it was going at that speed. So yeah, it showed a bit of these like conflicting parts of me
Yeah,
that are obviously
yeah,
like go 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 like be successful, do more
yeah,
stuff, and then another
yeah.
part is like oh, just chill out, like
Slow
yeah,
down a little bit.
yeah, yeah.
Oh.
So yeah, being patient is gonna be it's a journey for me for sure. But
Mm,
I have to hold on to that one. I think all these
yeah,
qualities, it's that they're gonna be additive. We're calling it in, but calling it in to stay and be able to tap into it whenever we need it.
yeah.
So I'm still holding on to patience.
Alright. So you don't feel that it came through for you especially strongly, necessarily?
It was required of me
Yes,
a
yes.
lot. Just have a lot of internal I think there's a misalignment with
Mm,
my I've rested a lot over the last few months, and now
mm,
I feel like a fire to create and build and problem solve. Like,
mm,
I need to channel this energy into something, but I've also been holding back because I do have a tendency of taking on too many projects and
yeah,
then feeling quite overwhelmed because I'm not doing any one thing really well. So I've been trying to be almost patient with myself to allow, because I've been working on my purpose statement and trying to allow for signs of what that is. And now I've actually come to something that I feel is very much in alignment, but it's taken me this entire month to get to it.
ooh, but I love that because you this is where your and my qualities are really interacting again, right? Or, I feel like we should be high-fiving each other through the
That way, though, because you're on this
that
side of the
that
screen.
way. You're on this side for me, I don't know.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Um, but yes, because purpose ultimately for me was so tied into the idea of sovereignty and royalty and having clarity of purpose and you do need patience to get there.
Mm,
um I fully feel and understand that
yeah.
somehow the rules of this world are that you're meant to go through the journey. You can't just jump from here to there. And sometimes that can feel very frustrating or just kind of I've been in this transitional moment for a while, and I'm so excited to get to the next stage.
That's definitely the one that it is for me. Enough with all the
Yeah.
upheaval. And then I get thrown a solar eclipse and a lunar eclipse in the middle of everything, and I'm just like, can the stars and planets just work with me right now?
Yeah. Yeah. And the thing is that it doesn't have value because again, I think if you think about our existence being here to sort of express and love and consciousness and to
Mm.
grow both of those into, their infinite potential, then you can't have something immediately because it would have no value for you,
Yeah.
right? The love wouldn't be there, the labor of love. Uh, and and so actually the fact that it takes time is such a gift in a way. And I do talk about this a lot with my partner because we're also building something together.
Yeah.
But the process of building it together is maybe the most satisfying thing that you can ever do is
Mm.
is to create something with someone you love.
Yeah.
Um and and then to be able to look back and see all those stages that you were in and high five each other. So patience is such a loving quality in that sense, right? It's
Yeah.
about loving what is and seeing how beautiful and destined it is. On purpose, the biggest thing that happened this month was that yesterday, on the last day of royalty, I actually finished my book. Yes.
Amazing.
Yes, and this thing has been hanging around for 2 years or so at about 90% complete.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yes, and it's one of those things where I always had this just felt this kind of resistance, as we all do, to the things that are truly of us, like our
Yeah.
creations. And this month, again, through the theme of sovereignty and royalty, I came to understand what creating something actually means if we imagine that we are part of the creative process, that creation is occurring, with and through us and all around us. Um, why does it matter for us to create something, right? And versus, just working for someone
Yeah.
or and I know you and I have touched on this before a bit in terms of art. Um, but I really saw through other people's examples actually that I was explicitly like looking at and talking about, that their creations were mirrors to them, and that it was very clear that the experiences they were going through with trying to build this business or whatever it is were offering them lessons, but very intense and personal and direct lessons that they
Mm.
needed, which they also didn't see. And that's all right. Um, and then it sort of dawned on me. I thought, our creation is part of the mirroring, is
Yeah.
part of our growth. And it's only when we create that we get that gift as well. Um,
Yeah.
and and then it all just sort of fell into place for me. And I found myself spending all day yesterday, probably 12 hours, just sitting there, did not feel tired for 1 second, did not even feel like it was any
Love
effort.
that.
I mean, and
Flow, like properly in flow.
properly, and I just knew that I would finish it, even though every other time that I sat down, I thought, "Oh, this is so overwhelming. I can't possibly do this."
Mhm.
It was finally this the very thing that we spoke about last time of like will into action, right? Translating the will into the action and just trusting. Because I think a big part of it is also doubt and also, oh, is this book good enough? Now, am I saying all the things I want to say? It's like, just do it.
Just do it. Yeah. Yeah. Stop trying to be a perfectionist about
And
everything. I
by the
think
way,
that's
just do it. I was gonna say thank you to Nike, and then I remembered that that's a goddess too. Nike, the
oh,
goddess of
really?
victory. Yes, yes,
Goddess of
victory.
victory.
Yes,
Ooh, love that. Well,
yes.
thank you to her.
Just do it. We are not sponsored.
Yeah, not yet, but they
Not yet.
should sponsor your book release potentially. Maybe you just
Maybe, maybe.
throw it out there.
Yeah,
Congratulations. That is huge. That's like birth to baby in
yeah,
a book,
yeah.
in the version of a book. So when is it going to be ready for the rest of us to hear?
Well, indeed, I'm intending that I will just do that as quickly as possible. It's just going to go from
Good.
there to somebody formatting it to putting it online getting some copies and handing them out, and that's
Amazing.
yeah, I'm giving myself 1 month.
Awesome. Well,
Yes.
good thing that we film these every month. So basically, yeah.
Now it's real, now I'm accountable. Oh, no.
Oh, yeah, you totally are.
I'll be holding it. Okay, at our next our next podcast, I will hold up the book. That will be
Amazing.
a beautiful manifestation. Speaking of which, we did pick our qualities, but we will not reveal them until the very end. And I wonder how relevant this one is actually to that. But going back to your dating, we do need
Oh my word. Well, on the dating front, it's been very interesting. Like, just I've been learning a lot about, I guess, myself and what's important for me in relationships. I think it was very, I was like looking at what I wrote down for my new moon last month, and it was calling in a life partner. And and it's interesting when you say you ask for something and you have one perspective of what that looks like,
Mhm.
but then the universe answers and it doesn't look the way that you expected. So then you think it hasn't actually responded. But
Right.
what I realize is that it has. So I'm dating. Hopefully, none of them actually listen to my podcast because that would get really awkward.
We should just have a warning come up on the screen at the moment. If you're dating Robin, do not listen to this part of the
So, yeah, I guess 3 guys at the moment, all very early days, but each one of them, there's different aspect characteristics or qualities in them that I'm looking for in a partner. Initially, I was like, "Oh, I need this all in one person." And yes, I do.
Mhm.
That is what I'm calling in.
Mhm.
But they are helping me understand what are those qualities of a life partner that I really, really care about.
Mhm.
Have my list as most people do. And I've trimmed my list to these are the non negotiables. I've gone
Yes.
through all of those exercises. But now I'm actually, outside of just sitting and putting it on a piece of paper, I'm actually living and experiencing it.
Mhm.
It's confronting being in relationships. I
Mhm.
don't know
Mhm.
how people do it. It's intense. Like
Yes.
another human being that's a mirror for you all the time. There's so many things, even about myself, that I've started like this one of the guys, he's very ambitious. He's a CEO of a like tech company and just driven, just,
Mhm.
working 100-hour weeks, like just insane. And
When do
I'm
you see
sitting
each
there
other?
listening to him and I'm like, shit, that was me. Like I was that person. And I'm just like, no, no, not me anymore. And it's just and it was so my first reaction when he started talking about his expectations of his employees and what he's building and all the rest of it
Mhm.
um was just like, no, this person's not ready to settle down and have a family because that's sort of the life stage that I'm at, and I need a present partner to bring up kids. I'm not going to do this whole thing by
Yes.
myself.
Yes.
And if he's so focused his baby's his business, then there's no
Mhm.
space for real human babies.
No, no. It's good
Not
that
at
you
all.
have that lucidity, right? You're not letting your feelings or otherwise kind of dictate to you who you're choosing. You're being fairly practical about it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, and yeah, but then it kind of, I actually brought that up to him because he could kind of sense I was
Mhm.
hot, cold. Because I'm just like, yes, no, yes, every 5 seconds. Because he does something and acts a certain
Yeah.
way. And I'm like, oh, that's really, I like that. Then I'm like, no, I don't like that. And I'm just seesawing. This is all within one day.
Okay.
I'm this emotional roller coaster. I like you, I don't like you. I like you, I don't like you.
Yeah, yeah.
And but then what I've also learned is just to communicate, like where
Mm,
my head is
very
at and
good.
what I'm thinking. And I told him that this is my impression of you, and he was like, "No, no, no, hold up. Like I do want a family, um, and it's something that is 100% feasible for me. It's like in my like plan for like." 18 months from now, I can totally do it. And that's, I'm building my business on that basis that I want to be able to do that. And
Oh,
I want to be present. And I'm like,
so interesting.
so you're basically killing
Wow.
yourself now so that you can do that later. Whatever, like whatever his,
But
but
it just shows you the value of communication for
for
sure.
sure.
Do not make assumptions.
And I am so quick. I've done that done that in my dating life always in the past. I just see data points and I start like extrapolating
Yeah.
probabilities of stuff and then I make a decision without even communicating with the other person.
Hmm.
And what I've been finding through this experience of being like patient
Yes.
as well with these men is and not just making a decision based on the limited data that I have
Mhm.
and allowing space for them to show me more of who they are. And then when something comes up that I feel an aversion towards because there's past trauma attached to it or whatever,
Yeah.
then I have a conversation and so and it's revealed to me that my assumptions were wrong
Mm.
every single time. So as you said, communication so key.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's
I
been
just
a
I wanted to pause briefly on that because I think there's value in emphasizing the what you just said, not just about the fact that you need to communicate, but also to recognize when you're projecting something,
mm,
right? When you're coming from, it's not just an assumption, it's also through the filter of your history, maybe
yeah,
your trauma,
yeah,
maybe
true.
no, right? That to me, and it's in my book, is is so pivotal in relationships because so much of the time what we're doing is we're interacting just with our projection of that person.
Yeah.
First of all, through our filters. Secondly, through our um the model that we construct of the person. And that can be based on our assumptions, but also
Mhm.
just through our experience of being with them and so on. But we're never, unless we're consciously doing what you're doing, which is kind of coming back to first principles, asking questions, then we're never really present with them.
Yeah,
Just with
I
our,
know. We're just like it's
it's the image. Yeah, it's the image we have of them
yeah,
that we're talking to. And
yeah,
actually, do we even want that? Why we want to be stuck in this? Um, so yeah, it's good that
yeah.
you see that.
It's been really I've been learning a lot about
Mhm.
myself through that
Mhm.
and my projections as well. And the one moment though that like at the start of our call that I had this warm fuzzy feeling about that I was very happy about calling in the divine feminine is that I've noticed myself in a very sort of calm. I was talking about my energy and my frequency, but I
Yes.
was also feeling that I'm a lot more in a flow state. I'm
Hmm.
flowing with how things are unraveling in my life right now versus trying to control and push. I think it was a
Amazing.
conversation I was having
Amazing.
with one of the guys where, I was like, you're just pushing and trying to control and it's heavy, it's intense.
Yes.
And then and when I reflected on my experience over the last few months at least, it's been more about receiving, a lot more about allowing and like flowing and yeah, just kind of trying to swim with the current rather than
Hmm.
go, if
Yeah.
the current's going in a different way, I'm not saying that I'm happy about it, especially
Right.
when it comes to I want things to be done at a certain speed, for example,
Mhm.
touching on patience. But I accept it and I flow with it and I recalibrate based on the direction that the river's decided to go.
Mm.
And it's felt so much lighter in
Yes.
general. I feel lighter than that heaviness of this
Yeah.
way. No, no,
Yeah.
go this way,
Yeah.
And
Oh,
it was,
wow.
yeah, it was so
That's
nice to just like have that moment of realization of like,
mhm.
I recognize
Mm.
a previous version of myself in this person, this mirror, but it doesn't resonate with me now. I'm
Yeah.
not there.
Yeah.
And that's, yeah, I think something that I just feel the last 2 months of us, like, calling in the feminine qualities has really sort of
Yes.
helped
Yeah.
with.
Yeah. I see it in you actually. I can see it. I wonder if we'll notice anything when we go look back at the first time we recorded together. Um, yeah, but that there's like a little girl lightness, playfulness.
Yeah.
You just giggled, but you're wearing kind of a soft pink lipstick today, and you know, there's there's definitely a softness
Yeah.
that I've noticed coming through, and like almost like a little vulnerability even in the eyes, and it's so beautiful, um and actually those qualities of surrender and patience that you've had really connect with flow. and with what you're
Mm.
describing. And it's interesting that my qualities have been in some ways very opposite to that from
No, they have been so far.
expression, royalty. They're very, they're very out there qualities. And
Yeah.
so is this one. And
Whoa!
yeah, yeah. And also the fact that I were black and you were white and this,
Yeah.
but we're really embodying two archetypes to some
Yeah.
extent, which is super interesting. Because I also think that I was more on the softer side initially. So
Yes.
so
Yes.
so
No,
you
for
can,
sure. I think
right?
I
And you can see that we're actually receiving the qualities that are balancing for us,
yeah.
which is really lovely. Yeah.
How are we on time, by the way? Should we talk about our
We
new
can.
qualities?
We can. Yes.
Really?
Yes. Let's
I
do
mean,
it.
on this, yeah, I guess it's interesting that you notice that our qualities, at least my qualities, have been more on the gentler, flowy side
Mhm.
because now I'm going in the other direction.
Oh my gosh.
And actually, yeah, I mean, I can actually, I'd like to take a little bit more time actually to premise this quality that's come in
Great.
because there's been so many signs of it almost showing up over this last few days.
Ooh.
And so when I pulled the card, I literally was like, "What? Really?"
But by the way, the same exact for me. And this wasn't the case. This wasn't the case with the first two qualities, but this one, I knew it was coming.
Yeah.
Like the things that were happening in the last 2 days. Anyway, you go first.
So there was, I mean, the one thing is one of the things I said to you when I saw you on Friday was, "I'm just feeling all this rage."
Ooh.
That was the first time it came up. Now,
Interest.
spoiler alert, you now know which is the one that I pulled,
Oh my
but
gosh.
that was the first time that, like, I
And I can
expressed.
testify, right? Like I was witness to the fact
Yeah,
that you said that.
yeah.
Yes.
That was, like, the first sign of it, like, kind of, like, creeping out, and then I pulled a tarot an oracle card on the weekend. It was exactly the same card I pulled a week ago, but
Mm.
I didn't really pay attention to it a week ago, and then it came again, and I was like, "Okay,
Snacking and
now I need to sit with this."
yeah.
And the card had the black jaguar in it, and essentially the message of it is fight for what you believe in.
Mm.
And there is one part of flowing and surrendering, but you don't have to be complacent. You can also lean into what your truth is and fight for it and believe that you're not alone in doing it as well. It was a bit more about having ancestors connect, being able to support you. But there was a fighting element to it, which for me is very closely aligned to this rage and just having conviction for something, believing on
Mm.
it, like
Mm.
having
Mm.
this deep knowing and
Yeah.
you know
Yes.
sticking to it because you know
Mm.
it's your truth irrespective of what everybody else says. And on the new earth thing, one of my things is creating a world that's different from what we believe to
Yes.
it exists now. And one of the arguments I got into was like, I don't like the way things are and I want it to be different. And yeah, and I feel that so deeply and I know
Mm.
it can be different. And now I just feel like even more like I'm gonna fight for it.
Yes.
And
Yes. Yes.
the last little sign of it was actually Aries, a female Aries that sort of came into my life who is fiery. And I went out with her on the weekend and she wasn't happy with the way that the guy that she was on a date with was acting. And she just told him. And she told him to get lost. And I was like, I'm such a like make everybody happy. And she just
Yeah.
expressed all
Yeah.
the rage, the fury, and I was like, wow, that is beautiful. That's awesome. I want to be
Yes.
more like that. And now I get to do that this next month.
Yes. Mm. Claim it. And I'm also going to do it. Definitely. Because I did not include rage in my 11 qualities but I feel it's like very necessary and there's that it's like that cleansing fire.
hmm
But even the symbolism in your card of like the Black Panther for me immediately has associations, right, with Black activism, but of a
Yeah.
very, very intense nature and,
Yeah.
like really and really about also a new world in that sense
Yeah.
of justice, equality.
Yeah,
Um,
true.
yeah,
100%.
yeah. But with a bit of an edge, like that is really anger channeled
Mm.
through activism.
So tell
Yeah.
me, what was your card?
Wow.
What's the
um,
quality that you're calling in?
so, um, yeah, I've really noticed that I'm kind of drawing people to me more than ever. And it's not going back to this idea of the journey of evolution, like that you don't value it unless you've experienced the contrast of it. I would say that for so much of my life, I was thought of myself as an introvert. Probably didn't perform as an introvert in other people's eyes, but I felt it. Would shy away. Would always prefer to not have the social interaction than to have it. And also always felt that I was pulling in relationships or friendships, or if I wanted to have somebody in my life, that it was sort of all on me to make it happen.
Mm.
And again, that might not have factually been accurate. It was just a feeling that I had. And it was very connected to feelings of unworthiness and undeservingness. And and I've consciously probably for a year or two been leaning back in almost every relationship and kind of allowing them to come to me instead. But in the last couple of days, the that kind of pull that people seem to feel towards me has just been off of the charts, and um, in the most beautiful ways. And like yesterday, when I was writing, I was all day at um, Standard,
Yeah.
and just had the most wonderful conversations. And one of the waiters was constantly just coming up to me and being like, "Oh, princess, princess," like just so smitten and like kissing my hand. But
Oh,
I know,
sweet.
I know. Again, like the royalty definitely was coming through, which was great.
Yeah.
It was great. Oh, and I was also at this amazing workshop for several hours um, on this, which was way outside of my normal comfort zone as well. But every time we had to try something, I was be the first to do it. I was just just straight in that, um, which was, and it felt so natural. And that's also been like for
Mm.
me just something huge to celebrate, was that my expression continues to expand, and I'm just no longer at all in the paradigms that I used to be in terms of confidence. But anyway, at that place, people were like coming up to me, commenting on my energy. It's incredible. I feel such a like sensual energy from you, and just this magnetism,
Mm.
and they were just really compelled by it to the point of having to say something, which means
Yeah.
there's stuff.
Yeah.
And and I also, and another small footnote to this, I went to that same day in the evening, I went to a concert. I didn't know who this person was who was performing, but apparently he's very well known and has done lots of really like big collaborations and so on. And um afterwards I got a ticket that included kind of just hanging out with him, which was also really random seeming, but because it's only a few quid more than the actual ticket, I was like, oh, why not? I just had
Yeah,
this
yeah.
sense like I need to be there. I need to meet him, very much in soul tribe sense. And I'm standing there on my own. Everyone else is chatting to each other, and I'm just standing there very blatantly waiting to meet this person. And sure enough, he comes in, and and all I had to do was just look at him. I just glanced at him, and immediately he like ran over to me, gave me a big hug.
Oh, I love that.
Yes, yes. And yeah, and I didn't have to do anything. I had
Wow,
I
that's
had the
awesome.
intention of meeting this quite well known, quite successful musician. Um, and it just happened, and I just stood there, and
All you had to do is
I
show up.
right? Exactly, but I could feel when I looked at him that there was something in me that was just drawing that in,
Gravity.
and it was it's such an amazing feeling. Anyway, so then guess what I draw? Magnetism.
Ah. I mean, you're starting at a point to where it's like so heightened. It's so
That's so
beautiful.
this is why I'm so excited. What is it where is it gonna be?
Where's it gonna go from here? That's so
I'm telling
incredible.
you, I cannot wait. This is I'm so excited about this quality. Also,
Yeah,
just from the feelings I've already had and those experiences,
yeah.
and it just feels so good. And it doesn't feel good because I'm so great, right? And I'm attracting these people. It's actually the feeling of the connection, the feeling of I'm finally able to make the kind of connection that I know I'm capable of and that's coming from such a genuine place in
Yeah,
me, right? And that, I think that is such an important lesson of the journey as well, is
yeah,
that when you come into authenticity, you become magnetic automatically,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And that actually just through being who we are worthy.
Mm,
And to me, that's what magnetism teaches us or represents in this.
yeah. I love that. I mean, I've been having quite a few of these magnetic experiences too, so I feel like this is gonna definitely be one of your qualities that overflows into my
Oh yeah. No, you and I, we
into my space too, for sure.
imagine rage and magnetism.
Whoa. Yeah. Well, I mean, the beautiful, I've already gotten signs of, well, rage maybe. I mean, I've put my boundaries in place quite a bit recently over the actually last week, even in when I was
Mhm.
around my family. And it's been beautiful to see what comes out the other side, how everything's actually better because I've
Right.
been putting a line in the sand. So, yeah,
Yes,
I'm quite
yes.
excited to see what like comes on the other side of rage because it's not an emotion that I would normally lean into, but I've definitely seen at least from the perspective of putting boundaries, which always made me feel very uncomfortable, that I've ended up with much more like a freedom, a lightness, and everything
Yeah.
for having done it. And it's never as bad as I thought it was going to be in terms of other people's reactions. So I'm quite excited to see what happens at this rage.
Yes. Yeah. And it's so important to do that. And it comes from also being in our sovereignty. Because one of the things I did as well, just in the last few days, was to tell my partner, um, the ways in which I didn't feel loved.
Mm,
And that was huge for me because um I don't think I've ever done that. And also I kind of thought, oh, I shouldn't ask for it. It should just be given to me.
yeah.
Right. Oh, I don't want it to be unnatural. I want him to want to give it to me. So I'm not going to say anything. But no, it's not like that,
No,
actually. Is
communication,
any-
communication. Like relationships are work. Like
Yes.
you
Yeah.
can't like we're not mind readers. They're not mind readers. We're not mind readers. Like
No. Exactly. Exactly. And it was so much better afterwards. And it's going to get better because of that.
yeah.
So I'm with you. Yeah.
Amazing, exciting month ahead of us. Magnetism
So
and rage. And
love.
more dates. Maybe I'll add more men to the repertoire. Why not?
How many can you juggle without them knowing?
Well, right now, well, this month has been, I mean, going on the patience thing. I actually, as much as I feel like I haven't enjoyed trying to be patient, but as a result of things not working out in the timeline that I expected, I've been able to realize how much I care about again. And there's a lot of remembering as I've spent a lot of time decorating or reconfiguring my main bedroom and getting new cupboards ordered and choosing all these things. And I love that stuff. And I went to the
Yeah.
Hundred Vasa exhibition and he was obsessed with architecture and nature. I'm obsessed with architecture and nature. Like all these signs are just like dropping in and I'm just like, okay, okay. I'm hearing it loud and clear now, like I need to continue on this path of trying to, yeah, create more beauty, more about spaces, nurturing spaces, whether emotional or physical for people. And yeah, I don't know
Mm.
how I got onto that topic, but anyways. Anyways, it's given me a lot of time to think about life purpose and go on dates. Once I start working, I'm not gonna have all this time. So I don't know,
Yes.
maybe I can juggle another to answer your question, I can maybe add another 1 or 2, 5 balls up in the air. Balls,
Oh,
oh,
what
terrible use of words. What? This this conversation just got very PG-18. Or not even
That's
PG.
what happens when we go over time, we start to stray into the wrong
I know,
territories.
exactly. Okay, I'm gonna shut up now, but anyways, we'll watch this space. We'll see.